So now we can go ahead and create the lobby player look and the lobby player list look. So we can create a separate panel and we can get rid of, let's just drag this onto another one so we can just get rid of this. No, let's keep it how it was. So we'll just create a sub panel here actually. So this one is the main menu panel, or just main panel actually. So main menu panel, and we want to create a separate panel. So let's remove this, and we're going to create that background with this panel here and drag it into the main panel and drag these under the other panel and into this sub panel, and we're just going to say main menu sub panel. Yeah, and we'll come back to them later. We can close this and we want to create a new panel, and we're going to call this one the lobby panel. And again, we're going to create a sub panel here. Oh, not an empty game object. Get rid of this image and create, let's copy and paste it, drag it in and remove it. Image. Here we're going to say lobby panel. No, let's call this the player list sub panel, and we're going to, as the name suggests, we're going to add the lobby player script to here. And let's just create another panel, and let's make this one a little smaller, give it some edges here. I'm not going to make this look pretty. And this one's going to be the player list. This is where all the lobby objects will be, or player lobby objects. No, you know what? No, don't delete it. Just we'll move that later, and let's just keep it how it is. Let's rename this. No, don't rename it. Actually, here we're gonna make this one a vertical layout group, and we don't want any padding on this, but we want to control the child's size and height, and add a content size fitter, and let's make a minimum size value here. Oop, where'd it go? So I made it as big as possible. We'll do it. And within this, we're going to create another element, which is just going to be a rect transform, which doesn't matter what we put here then. Remove this and remove this. And here we're going to put a layout element, and we're going to say a minimum height is going to be like 100. As you see here, now it is a object there, and we don't want to, we untick this, the child force expand, the height, we don't want to expand it, we just want to keep it how it is, and we'll drag it to the top and take the markers up top. Yeah, we'll just do Alt on stretch it to the top, and on this panel, and it's not really a panel. Okay, and let's just make this a little less than 100. Yeah, Okay, we'll make it 50. And we want to add a default button to this, and this is going to be, take it to the left, make it a little smaller, and this is going to be the add player button or add slot button, and this panel is going to be the unnamed, let's just say player button element. I'll show you the use of them later on in the scripts, and make this just plus. Yep, perfect. So this is going to be the default element, and we'll create another element, and let's copy and paste this element, and we'll have a preferred height as well, which will be 100. Oh, whoa. No, let's just keep it. No, let's just keep it like that. Screw the preferred stuff. And here, we're gonna add a network identity, because later on, we're gonna be calling some RPC functions from this to do like countdowns and whatnot. And here, of course, we're gonna add the, well, not obviously, but we're gonna add the lobby player system here and rename this to player info. So in this player info, we're gonna have a couple things. So on this element, we're not gonna have a add player button because the player is already here. We're gonna want to have a function of kicking a player. So we're gonna add another button. I probably didn't need to delete the other one. Add a button, and this button is going to be here, and we want to make this an X. This is going to be our kick button. We want to kick the player from the lobby, so we're going to be with a person that we don't want to play with, or he keeps joining our game, or whatever. Kick him, so we have be able to kick a person. We want to have a, so here, kick player button. We want a button that says whether or not we're ready. So ready. Call this ready button. We want to have a, so I think we're going to keep it simple. Later on, when we have more stuff, we're obviously going to have to come back. So if we have more maps and whatnot, we're going to have a button to change maps and be able to see what map we're currently going to be playing on. And we're going to need to have like a character changing screen, but we only have one character, which is like a box. We only have one map, which is like a box, technically. So later on, we're obviously going to come back and improve this, but this is going to be a neato lobby system that we can use to build on. So game development, you got to have building blocks that you're going to come back and build a house on, so to speak. So here we're going to have a text element, and this is going to be the player's name. Drag it here, and actually no, let's drag it to the middle, and let's make this a little bigger. So if you have a really long name, you could put it there, and let's make this player name. And we want to have a simple UI button. Again, parent to the left, bring it a little to here. And here, this is going to be, oh, let's drag this to the middle. It just looks weird. Okay. this is going to be our color selection button. So we want to have a image, doesn't matter what image. Well, it doesn't matter what button, what image you have, as long as it's just square or rectangle shape. And I'm pretty sure if you go to imports and cross-platform input, I think I might already have it. Sprites. Oh, scripts, sprites, and this one's good enough. The touchpad sprite, and why am I doing this? Already has a sprite on. Ignore what I'm saying. XD. So here you can change the color of whatever it is, even if it's just white. Doesn't matter. But we'll just keep it so you can see that this one's going to be red, and you can change it by just clicking it. So if you go here and just make it, okay, don't do that, don't play. Yeah, and we want to have a indicator image, oops, on the player info, and I just realized I spelled it wrong. And this image, and where is it? Oh, okay, make another. So we're gonna add an image. Oh, that's big. There, and make this a little smaller. And this image, we're gonna have, we're going to display whether or not we're a host, and if we're not the host, then we're going to show the ping to the host, and we probably have that in the lobby system before you join a game, so you don't want to. You can filter it by the ping to the host, but for now, I think that is good enough player info. So we can go back to lobby and create two folders, scripts and prefabs. We can drag over these scripts to the scripts and drag the player info to the prefabs, create it as a prefab, remove this. So we can go back to the lobby players list, and in the add player function, we're going to say the player dot transform dot, we're going to set the parent to, so we're instantiating, so it automatically instantiates this prefab, but we want to set the parent to the player list here. So if we go back to our script here, we just want to say set the parent to the player list content transform, which is a rect transform. We'll just generate the field and just call this one the rect transform. And we want to say false. We don't want to scale up. We don't want to scale up our object depending on the size of the parent. So after we play it, we want to, because as you can see here, so this player button, when we add the button here, it's still on the top. We want it so that it is on the bottom, so this is us, so we can add a player here, then it adds a player, and then it should be always the last player there. So to do that in the script, we say, so we want to get reference to that game object, so game object, or no, let's just say transform because it's much easier. Transform dot add button row, down here we say add button.row dot set as last sibling, and it will become the last sibling there. And we want to say player, create a new function, and we say player list modify. So here, this is basically a very simple script, function, sorry, and this just says, takes in, has a local variable of 0, and for each lobby player, for each lobby player in players, so it goes through the list, and we just want to say p dot on player list changed. So this is just a function that we're going to create on the lobby player script, and we just want to increment here, which is a ++I for each, and this is going to be the I. So this just changes the background of the image, so they're not all the same color. So if we just copy paste this, so it just separates the values, so it is easier for the player to see each row. So if we just quick actions, and we just want to generate lobby player method, and down here don't need internal void, just a public void. And here all it's doing is get the image, get the component image, image, and we're not using the UI namespace, and just, now we are, get the image dot color is equal to so this can be the index, index. So for each second player in the lobby system, we want to create a background that is not like the player before it or after it. So each second player, so if the index is divisible by 2 with the remainder of 0, so this is just a operator that divides these and has a remainder of them, and we want it, so this is just a bool, so this checks the remainder of this when divided by this number. So if this is divided by 2 and it's 2, means it has a remainder of 0. But if 3 is divided by 2, it's not going to be a remainder of 0. So if it is a remainder of 0, you want to have a even row color, else we want to have an odd row color. And we can implement this. Perfect. Generate a property of color here. Generate another property color here. And here we're going to create different colors for each. So here we're going to say this color is equal to a new color, and it's going to be 2.5F 255. No, let's make it 250 F. I can't wait. Colors. So we're going to be using the RGBA factors of this color, but I'm I'm actually kind of lazy to do that, so we'll just say color dot white for even rows, and for the odd rows we say equals to color dot gray. So if we go back to our lobby manager and we drag over the player info prefab to the lobby player prefab, we can close this and go to the main menu script, and here we have to actually, which one has the lobby panel script? So on the lobby manager script we can drag the lobby panel to the lobby panel area, and let's see what happens when we click here. Oh, nothing happens actually. So if we open this, okay, it changes to the lobby player scene correctly, and we have to find a way to close this within our game. So what happens when we play? If we go back to the lobby player list, we can, as you saw before, you had a option to add a player or remove a player, and start a player, start or leave. So here we're going to create a remove player function, and this is going to take in a lobby player. So this gives us ability to kick players here. So here we just remove it from the list, and we want to say player this player list modified. So I think we're done in this script. So this script is completely done, this lobby player list. So now we need to fix, because we go here and we create the lobby. So now we're in the lobby system. We want to make it so this isn't open at the same time. So to this, we just create a simple function within the on lobby client scene changed. And we're not going to derive from the base, we're going to change what happens here. So if the, actually no, we go to the enable function and we're going to say current panel is equal to the main menu panel. And of course we need to get it somewhere, and we'll say serializable field main transform, rect transform actually, main menu panel, serializable field, and we'll come back to this. Actually, I think we can do it all in here. So here, if the current, no, I think that's all we need to do to make it go away. We just need to say the current panel is equal to the main menu panel, and we go to the lobby manager and drag over the main menu panel, and this is renamed it to lobby manager. And let's see what happens now. Here, ignore this for now. For the test, we're going to come back to this. Create the button, and now we are in the lobby system. And I just realized, go back to the lobby manager and make this minimum players of 2 and maximum players of 4 per connection. Yeah, that should work. Good. So now we need to go to the on client And after you did that, we can go ahead and go to open up the lobby panel, and we need to go back to the lobby player system, lobby player list, and make this a serializable field, and we need to make this public. Open up the lobby system and go to here, and we want to put in go to our lobby panel and drag in the player list to the player list content transform, and add the player button to the add button row, and close that up. Open this, go ahead and play, and this is just showing because of the override function. Yep, and so you can see this is now underneath, and we can click this. Doesn't do anything. None of these buttons should do anything. Very good. And this is actually an important thing, because you can see that the players aren't ready. That is an important thing that the lobby system allows us to do. So it checks. So we're gonna, in our scripts, we're gonna check whether or not all the players are ready. So each time we add a player, and this one says it's ready, this one says it's ready, and oh, that's, yeah, we'll fix that later on. But as it says now, currently, so if you have 2 players ready, automatically it's going to start up, because the minimum here says yes, 2 players. If 2 players are ready, start up the game, easy peasy. But we don't want to do that. So we can go back to our script. Here we're going to be configuring the player info prefab within the script. So here we're going to have, let's say, static color, array of colors. So we're going to have a couple colors equals new color array, and here we're just going to insert color dot, let's just go through all the random ones. Magma color, color dot red, color dot cayenne or sign, no, cayenne's a spice, I know that. And we'll just add a couple colors, color yellow, easy. And we'll close it off here. And we need to get a list, and we'll say static. I don't think it needs to be static. We'll just say static int, or list of integers, and this is going to reference the colors that are in use. So there can't be the same colors in the lobby. So it keeps tracks of the current colors being used. And here we'll say serializable field. We want to get a button, and this is going to be the color button. Serializable field input field. This is going to be the name input, so we can change our name. Serializable field, and here we're going to have a button again. Actually, let's say in here, ready button, waiting player button, and let's make another. So these ones we're going to be adding on in a minute to our prefab, but we're going to have a waiting player button. No, let's make it, yeah, let's, and a remove player button, so we get reference to that remove player button. And we want to, down here, another serializable field, get reference to a couple game objects, which are the local. So if we're local host, we want to show a local host prefab, or let's say local icon, and a remote or not local player icon, or remote local icon, remote icon. And so down in the on client enter lobby, we want to check whether or not if is local player. We want to set up the local player, and else we want to set up other player. That's good enough. And we create generated method, and so let's move it. In the local setup local player, we're going to make the name input dot interactable to true, so only the local player, so the local player can change their own name. So you know it's gonna have the host pick names for everyone, and we'll say equal to true. The remote icon dot in dot set active equals true. No, because you're the local player, so we'll say false. And local player local icon is set to active true. And actually, yeah, we're gonna have to go to our fields here, and we need to make a public color. So the color that we're currently on, so the player color is equal to color dot, let's just say default is a white. And we need to get reference to the name as well. String player name is equal to empty for default. And we're gonna need to make these a sync vars, both of them, because we want them to sync between each client. So if player.color is equal to color.white, then we want to change the color. And if the player name is equal to empty, we want to assign it a name, so change name to, let's just default it to player plus let's see, we'll make it to player.lobby playerlist.instance.player list content transform dot child count -1. So we're getting this. So if we open up this, so we're getting all the childs within this. So if we drag this one over, copy paste, so if there's 4 players, it's going to come back as 4, because there's currently 5 children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes through all of them. So this will be 5 minus 1 because there's a default remove player or add player to there. So we are just minusing the 1 that we have there by 1. So we get the proper number. Close this, go back to our scripts, close it off here. And we want to say the color button dot interactable. So again, we only want the local player to have interactable, be able to interact with it, sorry. And the name inputs dot interactable equals true. And we need to say ready button dot interactable equals true, and move this up. And we want to take off the listeners from the default ones we have there. So the default listeners, so if we go to a random button, this is a listener, so we're just removing the ones that are there if there is already ones there, and then we want to fill it with what we have in our scripts. So we want to say remove all listeners from that, and name input dot on edit dot add listener, and we want to add a function here, and we'll say on name changed, and we'll create a function there. And again with the color button dot on click dot remove all listeners, color button dot on click dot add listener, on color changed. And the last one would be the ready button dot on click dot remove all listeners, ready button dot on click dot add listener, and this one is going to be on ready click. Yeah. And again, after we joined, we want to say if lobby manager dot singleton is not null, then we want to say the lobby manager dot singleton dot on players modified 0. So when the client lobby is called, the local player controller is not yet created, so we need to redo what it did here to disable the add button if we have reached the maximum local player. So if we pass 0, it has already counted on the local on client enter lobby. So we're just not redoing what we've already done. So we're not adding another player. And actually we need to control the remove button. So we want to take away the remove button. So we want to take away this remove. No, let me think. No, yeah, if we want to control whether or not we can remove this player. So to do this, we say in here check remove button. And down I will just do it here. we need to change the ready button color. So there's a default color of when you're ready and when you're not ready. So we change that in here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 functions to create.